Good afternoon, I'm Charlotte Jones, and today I'm channeling Jemima Willowby, which is a soul collective of beings that I've been talking to from about 2021, once I did a soul writing course. Today I'm going to try and do things a little bit differently. Normally I channel through writing. Today I'm going to attempt to channel verbally, which is not something I've done before and not something I feel particularly comfortable in doing. But from the previous 2 times that I've channeled and then in writing form and then done videos, it just sounds stagnant because obviously I'm not channeling in that moment when I'm doing the video. I'm reading what I've channeled previously earlier on that day. Okay, so we'll begin. Hello Charlotte and welcome. We know you've called us today because of the difficulties you're having in your life on this particular day. Your uncle died this morning at 2:30, and we understand that this must be very difficult for you to process at this moment. Even though you knew this day was coming, and you've known for around 6 months when he was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer, it's still a lot to deal with, and we're here for you to help you process this. We want to spend time with you today talking about death and what that means. We're here to speak about death because on your planet you struggle with this concept, get very upset with this concept and what it means to die. We want to reassure you that, like you've spoken about before and with your own near-death experience where your spirit left your body through your heart, that you understand partly the concept of death, in that it is only your spirit leaving the vessel of your body, and that once your spirit leaves this vessel, you are then merging with the energy, the larger universal energy that surrounds you, surrounds your planet and the universe, and is made up of this energy. Everything is made up of this energy. So your spirit literally merges with the energy that's already around you. People struggle with the concept of death because they feel they're no longer going to see that person. But we know, and you know, that it is possible to connect with the energy of that person. For example, the energy of your uncle. You connected with him this morning on your shamanic journey, and that's just one way in which people can connect with that spirit, with that energy that your uncle once was. Some people find that difficult to understand, and that it may be dangerous in some way. But if we think about energy, spiritual energy, and the universe being energy, everywhere is energy, consciousness is energy, our bodies are energy, every object is energy, then when our vessel, our heart stops beating, that energy has to go somewhere. And you felt it sucked out of your heart. So you understand that you left that vessel behind for that moment in time and what that felt like. You saw what you saw in that moment, and you've seen what you've seen this morning in your shamanic journey, and you're connecting with us now, and we are energy beings, you are energy beings, so we are all just connecting, and you are channeling that connection and that energy today through us. And that's all that death is. It's the re-emergence of energy from one vessel to another dimensional realm. So even though you can't physically see your uncle anymore, you can access his energy in different formats, and that's why we meditate. That's one reason and one way that we can access this universal consciousness, collective consciousness, as Jung would say, and we know you like Jung, Carl Jung. And so what is that when we speak about collective consciousness? What are we actually speaking about there? So Jemima Willowby is part of that collective consciousness, and all human beings have the ability to tap into that collective consciousness. We all have that ability. But on Earth, we exist in these heavy physical bodies, and we get consumed by our daily lives and what that entails and the dramas of our lives, that we forget, or we've forgotten about that collective consciousness and that ability to connect to that collective consciousness. And when you spiritually wake up, which in itself is a build-up of energy, a transpiring of energy, transforming of energy into new ways of being, into more conscious ways of being. It's not something mystical, but what it does is it allows you to connect with that consciousness which you were not able to feel or understand or experience before, because you were too busy living in your physical body and seeing what was in front of you as the only reality that was possible. But if we bring that back to death, because we are here today to talk to you about death, then death is the emergence of the spirit within, leaving your heart, leaving through your heart, being sucked out of your heart as it did for you, and merging with that universal conscious energy. And in other words, some might call that God. And we know, Charlotte, you've struggled with that concept for many years. You've resisted that concept of God for many years, that word God. One, because it's always been a very male-dominated idea. You've dipped in and out of different religions for many years and thought about what is God, and really never really felt like you understood what that concept meant. But suddenly, using the idea of energy and having had those experiences of meditating and feeling that sense of oneness, that sense of calmness internally, where you have felt like you were connecting with something deeper than your previous ideas of what you felt yourself to be, which was very much based in ego and thought processes and the dramas of everyday life. Suddenly, talking about universal consciousness, the collective consciousness, the idea of energy being within us and outside of us, suddenly that made a lot more sense to you. And suddenly that idea of God or a goddess, not as one entity as such, but many, suddenly that made a lot more sense. And books that you've read recently, like Mark Gober, who talks about how we're getting mixed up in today's society with science, and that's slowly changing now, but the materialistic way that we perceived life, that now quantum physics and quantum mechanics are turning that upside down. And one way in which Gober talks about that is through the idea of seeing the brain as something that created consciousness previously, but now it's reconsidering it as an antennae for consciousness, and that each brain or each entity that we all are as human beings are different whirlpools of energy, but we're all this connected energy. You know, you can feel that, Charlotte, when you're in different groups of people. You've written your book about it, talking about one aspect of it, of your social anxiety, and how in different situations you would feel those connections, that energy to that energy of other people. Sometimes that was good interactions where you got a lot from those, they lifted you up, but often you felt the negative energies of some of the people that you were interacting with. You could feel those inner vibrations of people. So energy as a concept is it's all we are and all we know. And there are plenty of people talking about energy more and more in your world and on social media. And we know you watch people like Abraham Hicks, Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks, who channel Abraham, and how they talk about the law of attraction. And we know that you very much understand and enjoy listening to these videos. And we're not here to replicate any of that work. We're here to give messages and to let them unfold as they become relevant in your life and the lives of others. We know you're doing some work at the moment exploring the idea of divine feminine energy, and you're doing a course at the moment on divine feminine connection. And we know this will develop further your ideas about energy and help you to write more about that. But we wanted to just check in with you today, to just confirm with you that death is not the end as you know it. It is just a transference of energy from one vessel, from one realm, from planet Earth to another realm. And we will leave it there for today. And blessings to everybody.